I'm the host of Talking with Famous People. The topic of this live stream is categories of YouTube topic, but before we do that, let's pull a quick ball. Then we're gonna go to the bathroom maybe too. I should probably have done that before I started this, but whatever. There's a few things I want to discuss today, but one category of YouTube topic that exists is what you might call fighty topics. Hi, Daniel Bear Sports Highlights. Hi, Big Dog Mofo. So yesterday I took on what you might call some fighty topics. I titled it something like credulity, flat Earth, evolution, etc. And the thing is about that, do I ever take sober breaks? Or what do you mean by that? I don't drink out any alcohol at all. If you mean, do I ever not smoke weed? Well, I actually got up this morning and watched a lot of TV uh, before I even pulled my first bong rip. I just have only pulled like one or two bong rips. So, I mean, I'm not always smoking weed all day long, obviously, but I uh, I do tend to. I see live stream as something that links links strongly to doing fun things or whatever. Oh no, no, no. I mean, I have, but not willfully, not purposefully. Hi, George Clooney, and hi, Susan. Okay, Essen, just get out of here with your Israel Palestine shit. So, you want to talk about a contentious topic, right? There are a variety of contentious topics one might potentially argue about. I was very frustrated yesterday in dealing with somebody who was, by all appearances, a smart guy. He was correctly and successfully arguing against the flat earther we had there. But, well, yeah, but, I might. That sort of thing happens where I done smoking weed for like 6 or 8 hours or something, not like months. Um, oh, wow. Do one for me, please. I would choke and puke. Enjoy. As always, stay strong and stay smiling. Okay. Thanks. Uh, anyway, so this individual was right about flat Earth, wrong about evolution. The flat earther was wrong about flat Earth, right about evolution. But what both of them were guilty of is shifting burden of proof criteria. So the thing is, the guy who was arguing against flat Earth was doing a great job of arguing in favor of a round Earth because he was correct. When it came to telling to trying to argue in favor of evolution, he was he was vastly less effective, right? But he didn't perceive himself as any less correct. In other words, he wasn't being objective about evaluating the strength of his own arguments in respect under the respective circumstances. But regardless, that was very tiring yesterday. I gotta say. Yeah, the day's going great. I've been watching this YouTube channel that I've recently gotten into called Sidetrack Adventure, where this guy from San Diego goes and like explores kind of lost places in the desert that used to be a mining town, is now just a ghost town, stuff like that. It's pretty pleasant, pretty like chill to watch, and it's kind of moody, but like pleasant moody. I mean, like not moody like brooding moody, but just kind of it conveys this sort of mood of desolation of olden days of uh of things that people put a lot of time and effort into and then are left abandoned, right? That whole thing is well, right, Big Dog Mofo. I agree that one of the problems evolution has is a failure to define evolution, define species, define speciation. Like this guy was saying, do you know what the two principles of evolution are? And he wanted me to say, mutation and selection, right? But, I didn't feel like being tested by him. I did eventually answer that question with that answer, but I didn't feel like being tested by him. The point is, what test he fails, he doesn't understand that that's not necessarily the two principles of evolution. You get something like genetic drift, that is principle of mutation without selection. You get something like um, epigenetics, the near neutral theory. All of those are mutation without selection. It's specifically that because how can you select for something that's at best neutral? I don't have an OnlyFans, real chief. Chill. I mean, sure, that is a problem, Big Dog Mofo. But the way evolutionists tend to get out of that is by saying, well, we don't need to define species. But, there's a specific genome that each species has. No, I'm not going to make one. I just watched something like that, abandoned buildings that used to house mentally ill people in New York. Hmm. Yeah, I like that kind of. I think that there's something that's kind of intuitively resonant about seeing things that people put a lot of effort into that then just didn't work and were left abandoned. It kind of drives home or kind of makes you feel the ultimate how you're just one of so many people in history who've had these plans and visions and ideas and things you want to do, and then they're long dead and their shit's all abandoned. Like there's this guy in Nevada who made this thing called Cathedral Canyon, and Cathedral Canyon was a just a canyon in Nevada that he did a lot of different things to make it like a cathedral, where the canyon walls were the walls of the cathedral and the sky was the ceiling. And he had statues of Jesus and other weird things in there. It was free to visit. It was open 24 hours a day, 365. But it also has like bathrooms and electricity and like speakers piping music through there, etc. And then the guy dies, and within a couple of decades, it's just completely destroyed by vandals, whatever, you know. The Scottish mastermind, hi. Euxai hello, France friend. Are you from France? I'm not from France. Nicely, Hale, glad to hear it. No drywall today. IA Ray says, do you believe in God? I self identify as a Christian. Limp Dick's Kit says, cello. One of the instruments between the viola and the stand up bass. I guess the instrument between. So, anyway, types of topic. Uh, Yesterday was a day with contentious topics, and my point about that is that I found it very tiring. I knew I was going in that I was going to be having some battles because of the title. You know, if I'm going to say credulity, uh, evolution, and flat Earth, then you're going to get people who you're going to get both kinds of people. So, like as I did yesterday, I got one solid of each, which is which was adequate, plenty to make plenty of the fighting, all the fighting anybody needs. You know. Well, the thing is, it's not so much an out there topic as it's a topic that's assuredly going to result in people getting arguing and stuff, you know. The thing is, I'm very careful in how I articulate my positions. So I know that already that I'm correct, and nobody ever surprises me with anything. It's almost never does anybody say anything that I haven't heard before and already know the answer to. I said I self-identify as a Christian, IA Ray. Why should I believe in people who hide behind a screen? I don't understand what you're saying. Believe in people who hide behind a screen? I'm not sure what that means. Um, like believe in me? I'm not. What am I asking? I'm not asking you to believe in me. Like, what are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. If you think I'm evangelizing in some way, you're completely wrong. Um, so, one thing that a lot of kind of, I guess you might call them atheists or whatever, um, often get wrong is that because I self identify as a Christian, that means I affirm certain statements, right? Uh, the affirmation of statements is a very different sort of operation than the practice of faith. Oh, hey, Sam. That's fine. Sure. When would you like to do it? Fish don't feel pain, true or not? False, obviously. I mean, every living thing that has the capacity to responsibly move is responsive to pain stimuli. No, you cannot be a moderator. Okay. Well, if you just tell me the time now, day and time, then I can just put it on the calendar. Luigi Espino, hi. Well, the thing is, I have my own exercise of faith as a component in the magical thinking frame, which provides a a manner in which one might engage certain topics that can't be determined rationally. So we might be able to determine rationally, for example, negative moral obligations. That is to say, why it's wrong for me to violate someone's rights can be determined without any appeal to any kind of magical thinking frame. However, positive moral indications, whether you ought to do this, or that, among infinite possible things one might do, well, that's not something that rationalism can inform you about because it doesn't universalize in the way that negative obligations do. Regardless, whatever the utility for my practice of faith is, it's my practice of faith. It's not it's not an exercise in rationalism at all. It doesn't engage affirming claims and making arguments about them because I'm not affirming what the universe is for you. I'm just informing you about what my faith based behavior is and what I self identify as. So, a lot of people don't really get that the definition of faith is belief in the absence of evidence or in the face of contrary evidence. And the exercise of faith is one of prayer. It does not involve any sort of modeling of reality that you predicate any further arguments on, right? So obviously, it's foolhardy for people, either atheists or believers, to have arguments about it. I mean, it's insane. It's like neither party seems to understand what faith is. It's a behavior, you know. I look like a bill. I don't know what that means, Carlos. You mean like my name is Bill? My name's Eric. All right. So one one thing you can definitely toss in and to usually contentious topics, although I don't have any arguments about it because nobody knows what to do with my answer, right? I have the best argument, so nobody knows what to do with my argument. I'm a bulldozer. I don't know what you mean by that. What do I think about cannabis? I don't really think anything about it. What is there to think about? Depth artisan says I'm a bulldozer. I don't know if that's some kind of metaphor indicating that I'm forceful in my ways or something. But anyway, it was obviously very frustrating for me having this apparently reasonably smart guy be so annoyingly condescending with me yesterday and wrong concurrently. It's like, you MFer. Man, your voice is so hard. Why is it like that? My voice is so hard? I don't think it's that hard. I think it's a pleasant enough voice, all things considered. So there are other kinds of topics that are that seem vastly less fighty, even though they Patrick, I'm like, is that what his name was? Patrick? I just it's just like it's appalling because of course he was playing this test Eric about the principles of evolution thing. Eric, tell me what the two principles of evolution are. And I answered him, and and then he didn't even acknowledge that yes, I had answered the question. But most importantly, he was wrong in presuming those two principles are uniform to all explications of evolution. I can point to two specific ones don't involve um, that don't involve selection. So it's like he made so much sense when he knew what he was talking about, right? Namely, round Earth stuff. He made lots and lots of sense. But he had just as much confidence in his correctness when he didn't know anything about the thing that was making no sense. How crazy. No, it wasn't TV. TV didn't get to me. TV I get. TV is just has expectedly shifting burdens of proof, right? So for what TB wants to believe in, their burden of proof is very low. For what TB doesn't want to believe in, their burden of proof is impossibly high, right? I get the mechanism of that. I expected better from that other guy, right? Well, it was super annoying because he's so condescending and sure of himself about something he doesn't know anything about evolution. I mean, I'd like to think that I clearly explicated yesterday in no uncertain terms arguments that hopefully he takes away, thinks about, and realizes, oh shit, Eric's right. But who knows? People learn from headlines, and that becomes a part of their being without being vetted. That leads to confidence without the knowledge. The thing is, you know, I expect it to be so. On the flat Earth issue, both TB and his name was Patrick. Patrick were equally confident, right? TB had no good cause to be confident, and Patrick had good cause to be confident. He clearly did a better job of explicating how and why we know that the Earth isn't flat um, than I did. You know, I think I did a fine enough job, but see, I was trying to get him to understand the purpose of explanations and modeling and stuff like that, right? And I realized quickly enough, okay, this is a lost cause. This guy is either incapable or unwilling to understand this. Uh, so, but with the other guy, when it came on to evolution, which was the whole idea of the topic was I was going to explain how there's a how people have difficulty understanding where and when they should be credulous or incredulous. So there's this party line that with science we're relentlessly incredulous, we're always testing everything, everything's subject to change. Yeah. But in reality, certain kinds of models, like like as with the internet, um, you've got blocks of code that are built on other blocks of code that are built on other blocks of code, right? So it's the same thing with with understanding stuff or explaining or modeling stuff. We have a lot of different understandings of the solar system, the universe, etc., all of which are predicated on the the idea that planets are basically globes, right? And you've got, on the other hand, somebody who's saying somebody whose position requires us to create to create an alternate expression of things, an alternate explanation, right? On the one hand, you've got um, on the one hand you've got with evolution something that's trying to explain something, okay? But there's no other explanations built on top of it. I mean, there are, but they're all bullshit and we don't need them, right? They're just things like Jordan Peterson's evolutionary psychology, right? Complete nonsense. So there's no meaningful understandings that are built on top of evolution because of course it can't sustain any. There's no like there's no actual things being done that rely on the mechanisms of evolution being correct, right? There's no plans in the works, no other understandings that could possibly be built on that. I don't care if the Torah says it or not. Obviously, fish feel pain, and you don't send me any information on it, please. Thank you. So the thing about this is when we critique evolution to determine if it actually explains where species come from, we determine that it fails to explain, right? But what's the good news? That's just there's nothing else is built on top of it. Nothing else could be built on top of it. It's wrong after all. So we don't lose any additional good explanations for things. Just bullshit. Just a bunch of bullshit. What we lose is this sort of stuff. Millions of years ago, our proto-human ancestors, no, right? We lose those kind of things. I mean, tomato is good. Tomatoes are good is not the kind of statement that can be correct or incorrect. But anyway, the point is, I don't want to argue about evolution again. The point I'm trying to make is this: people don't apply the same kind of critical analysis depending on between different things. So the critical analysis that was present in defending around Earth was absent in defending evolution. There was a begging the question that preceded them understanding anything about it, right? Like, Jess Colonel, you say you're wrong. Well, if we were to assume the Earth is flat, this is what would change. We'd have to assume that we were being massively lied to by relentlessly by secret powers, right? Because otherwise, we have to believe that the pictures of Earth are bullshit from outer space. We have to believe that satellites don't actually orbit around, that something else is going on. I mean, the amount of alternative explanations you'd have to come up with for stuff that we currently explain. Well, and then in a practical sense, human beings do send spaceships into space, right? And so, for example, there are Starlink satellites going around the Earth, and it's possible to get Starlink internet. So, for example, then if in fact you can get that internet and it works, then where's it coming from if not a satellite, right? So we have a lot of practical linkages to our understanding of the Earth as round, globular. We have an understanding of flying around the planet on airplanes and stuff. It informs how our weather predictions work. It informs like shit tons of stuff, right? So the point being that if the Earth were not a globe, we'd need to come up with new and equally good explanations for all those things that we thought we had explained. Okay. In contrast, if we say, okay, evolution's not done its job, which it's not. I'm not saying there is any alternate explanation. I don't have an alternate explanation. The good news is we don't need to explain anything other than speciation, which is the thing we needed to explain in the first place. And nothing else predicated on it. It's a bunch of bullshit. Bullshit explanations of the past, right? So the thing is, right, I agree, Jess Colonel, it cannot be flat. No, no problems with that. I am not saying the earth is flat. I'm saying that the earth is flat versus evolution provides us a good test. How robust are you intellectually? There, the to the extent that you are, you should note the extreme amount of difference between something that's correct as an explanation and how it looks and behaves and how many different ways you can validate from, right? Versus something that's bullshit and how many different ways you can make concentric circles to explain away stuff. It's but what I found is there are not a lot of people out there who are smart enough or willing to actually analyze evolution and see if it makes an explanation that makes any sense. And it doesn't. It just doesn't make any sense for lots and lots of reasons that I articulated yesterday in great detail. I have many videos on the subject as well. What about alternative physical differences we can observe? Could we not know whether or not it's flat? It's just two ideas. Your conceptualization is just that imagination, but the sum can be observed. The point is not maybe I don't personally do this, but humans do predicate various calculations on the idea that the earth is globular and not flat, right? And you might say, I don't have any practical personal need to understand these things, but nevertheless, I prefer to understand how things work, how certain sort of limited environment dynamic systems work, whether it be how an airplane gets from here to there, whether it be uh, why the sun, um, you know, rises in the east and sets in the west, etc. Basic explanations that give a person a feeling of understanding in the world. Or, for example, this. Um, Rachel and I, one time, were standing out here, and it was dark here, but it had just gotten dark, right? And then off in the distance, we saw this like glowing light that looked like a plane that was on fire. Okay, it looked like an airplane, but it was it was all on fire. Except what I understood is it was that way far enough, and that way is east, and that and high enough that it was still getting sun from the west, right? I guess it was not that far that way. It was still getting sun from the west because it was higher up. So I could see it reflecting the sunlight, but it seemed like it was dark to me, right? I understood why that happened because I can conceptualize angles of light or something, various things like that. I didn't go, oh my God, that plane's on fire. So it's helpful to know whether, for example, something like this. Should I call the police and let them know a plane's crashing right now or not? Having an understanding of how things work informs us in myriad ways like that. And it's important that we be correct. Now, it's much less important that we be correct about speciation. But I think it's fundamentally important that we be honest in our intellectual critique of things. I'm not being remotely intellectually dishonest in my critique of evolution. It fails to meet its burden to affirm. It does not explain things. When we test its mechanisms, we are unable to replicate what we should be able to replicate. When we look at the actual record of extinction events and etc., we can dismiss gradualism, and punctuated equilibrium has no explanation for how and why the mechanism of evolution suddenly stops and starts. That's not consistent with change over time and mutation, right? There are myriad inconsistencies among the various explications of evolution that have been put forth, many of which contradict each other. There is not an explanation. And to the extent that it's not an explanation, evolutionists just say, well, it's a combination of these many factors that none of which is determinate and none of which can, because it's such a emergent combination of these factors, there's nothing we can actually predict or test with evolution. And if you say, well, how can't we speciate something with a quick generation like fruit flies? And they say, well, no, because why? Well, it would take too long. Okay, but how long could it possibly take? I mean, the generations are so much faster than more sophisticated creatures. Well, that's probably because more sophisticated creatures evolve faster than less sophisticated creatures. Why? How? What? Are you just making this shit up as you go? Well, see, that's the thing is I'm not interested in but before I would bother trying to explain something in a way other than the status quo explanation, I'd need to falsify the status quo explanation. So I don't have any explanation for evolution, but I do think it's important we go in the correct order. And first of all, let's get everyone to agree evolution is bullshit. It fails to explain. And that's what it supposedly does. It's changed myriad times since Darwin came up with the supposed theory. It's behaved unlike any other theory in science. We discovered Neptune by using calculations. Astronomers noticed that planets were being pulled slightly out of perceived orbit, so they did a calculation to figure out what size object would have to be there, where to create that deviation. They pointed the telescope at the calculated spot, and boom, Neptune was there. Exactly. How many how many years did it take meow to evolve from meow to meow? There's no evolutionists will ever be able to answer that question. They've yet to be able to come up with any kind of genetic clock. How many generations? They don't know. No way to say. How are you? What are you explaining? Do you know what the word explain means? So, anyway, it just makes no sense. It has never made any sense. They've changed the definition of species, and now, purportedly, I've heard at least one evolutionary scientist, an actual guy I talked to in an interview at some point, tell me that there is no definition of species. That we don't really know what a species is because we know that if we saw to a skeleton of like a Chihuahua now, let's say from a long time ago, we saw a Chihuahua skeleton and a Great Dane skeleton, we definitely think they were different species, but they're not. Okay, wait. So how do you know they're not then? Well, because they can interbreed and produce reproductively viable offspring. So you do have a definition of species. No, we don't. We can't have a definition of species because that definition of species precludes any further operations along that line. You know, if a species is defined as two individuals who give birth to reproductively viable offspring of the same species, then there's no room for gradual change over time, right? What did Terrence Howard say? I don't know. What did Terrence Howard say? What did he say? I heard that he's a bit of cray. Um, Terrence Howard statements. I will look. I will Google that. What? I don't know what he said. Let's see. on one. Oprah and I had such chemistry to be able to make out with Oprah. We've got all these different faces that want to come out. There's at least four in this moment. My daddy taught me never take the toilet paper and this is the last century that our children will ever be taught that 1 times 1 is 1. They won't have to grow up in ignorance. 20 years from now, they'll know that 1 times 1 equals 2. We'll show them, we're about to show a new truth, the true universal math. And the proof is in these pieces. I've created these pieces that make up the motion of the universe. We work on them about 17 hours a day. She cuts and puts on the crystals. I do the main work of soldering them together. They tell the truth from within. What? I remember being in the womb, found comfort there, and have been aware ever since that moment. If 1 times 1 equals 1, then that means that 2 is of no value because 1 times itself has no effect. 1 times 1 equals 2 because the square root of 4 is 2. So what's the square root of 2? Should be 1. But we're told it's 2. We're not told it's 2. Okay, that's just nonsense. What do I think about that? I think it's just crazy nonsense. This guy doesn't know anything about anything. That's what I think. Who would say such stuff? I don't know. So there are topics that are not. I don't treat it like a symbol, Ira. I pray regularly in a Christian fashion. Why do you want to invalidate my identity as a Christian? Since I regularly pray to Jesus, God, and the Holy Ghost. Hmm? Why do you think that I have to? Why do you think that I can't better exemplify Christianity than people who do it worse than me? How about that? Because you don't want Christianity to be intelligent. You don't want Christianity to be the smarter position, right? Well, that's your own subjectivity getting in the way then, if that's the case. I'm not saying it is. It might be. I don't know. But the point is, uh, I have both specific utility to my faith, and I have a long-standing regularity to it. So why should you invalidate my Christianity? You say it's a symbol, but it's actually what I point to is it's a behavior I engage in regularly. Prayer. If I prayed to, I don't know, Allah, I would call myself a Muslim. We should help. All right. So, hi, or in you. Yes. Have we been going 3 hours already? No, we haven't. Have we? No. I've believed all my life that I'm connected to something way bigger than what I'm living, and even been contacted from an energy source way bigger than I could ever fathom. Watch the whole video of what? Hey, Putty. Hey, Eric, what do you think of schools using taxpayer dollars by EPA grants to replace diesel buses with battery powered buses? It's ridiculous. I mean, it's not like electric cars are better for the environment on balance. They're still generating the electricity some way. No, I pray regularly. The point is, God is in the picture in my personal behavior of faith. It's not in the picture as an argument to have with people, right? I wouldn't, it would be disrespectful to my faith to think that God could be subsumed by human arguments, one way or the other. That God needs anybody's help to prove his existence, quote unquote, which would invalidate the mechanism of engagement, namely faith, is a silly notion. And so to disprove is missing the point. They're engaged in faith, these people, including myself, right? So for atheists to say to people of faith, you know, you shouldn't, you can't prove this, it doesn't make logical sense, or it doesn't work argumentationally, they're missing the point just as much, right? Everybody's missing the point. The point is, it's a behavior of faith that an individual engages in, and it doesn't generalize very well, you know? It shouldn't. If you think it does, or you think it's universalizable in terms of its argumentational supremacy, you are wrong. It's a category error of sorts to even attempt to argue about it, because you're arguing about something that isn't it, right? If we don't all both acknowledge in the first place what faith is, then what's then you're just arguing about different something that's not it. Well, Bruno says Jesus is the only way. CCTV says Jesus is the way, the truth, the light. Amen. You're not going to hear me say any of that shit, because I don't believe in proselytizing. I think it's horrible and stupid and makes God face palm. Alex, don't be crass and crude and awful. Okay? The answer to that question is no. Nor my uncle. Okay? I mean, again, you're using words like God is absolute. What I'm saying is, I don't like to talk about religion because it's a pointless waste of arguing. I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything regarding it. What you ought to be convinced of, regardless of whether I'm trying to, is that this is how people ought to engage in faith. Understand the distinction between engaging in a behavior such as jogging, right? And making a justification for something like, I deserve a refund because meow, right? I don't need to justify jogging. I might have my own various jogging reasons, right? But you coming to me and saying, why are you jogging? Why are you jogging? You're wrong to jog. Why am I wrong to jog? Because you haven't come up with any good reasons to jog. I don't need reasons to jog. It's a behavior, not a position statement you're trying to affirm or something. So remembering that would resolve all of these arguments between dumbass atheists and dumbass fucking religious people. But nobody listens to Eric. You know how that goes. Story of my life. No, jogging really is the best exercise. Jogging's not even an exercise at all. That's the argument between people of faith and atheists. Okay, but again, I view prayer as the practice of engaging in a relationship with God, Jesus, etc., right? As I understand divinity, okay? I don't view it as informative about argumentationally about statuses we assign to the universe. So you'll note that there's nothing else really we ever argue about its existentiality except for God and Bigfoot and other cryptids and aliens, of course. The thing is, those arguments about existentiality, though, are usually arguments about sufficiency of evidence, except for God, right? All those other ones, cryptids, etc., those are arguments about whether or not this blurry photo of Bigfoot is sufficient um, to establish that Bigfoot exists or not. Or if Bigfoot did exist, we'd see more of this kind of evidence. Those kind of arguments, right? With God, it's you don't even have that argument. I mean, you have religious people trying to make the argument, well, if not God, then why me? Which is just idiocy. And you have atheists saying, well, if God, then why not me God? And me God? Why not me God? Which is not quite as dumb an argument, I guess, but it's still entirely missing the point. Not everything in life has to be arrived at, the mechanics of which has to be argumentation. In fact, it was kind of critical to my growth and development that I unlocked the additional frames of reference that I would normally reflexively discount due to my rationality, because that empowers one to grow beyond one's nature. It's easy to be one's nature. It's reflexive. It's the status quo. Bigfoot just frequents out of focus areas. That's his natural habitat. P says, Unc, effing lost it. Are you sure I've effing lost it? I know I have a big hole in my jeans. It's really annoying. I hate it so much. I want to sew it or something. All right, I tell you what. I came in when you said, I'm good, man. I didn't say any of that. I think that a lot of the origins of these arguments can stem from pareidolia. Uh, you mean with the cryptids? Yeah, with the cryptids, sure, but not with God. Like, you know what I may have to do? I may need to take trouble to the vet. You know, I don't know what to make of his leg. He seemed like he was getting better, like he was basically not favoring the leg again, and now he's favoring it a lot again. I don't know what happened to him. Like currently, he's holding it up off the ground. It's the leg that got bit. Oh yeah, he's really limping now. It looks like Maybe it's swollen too. I think we're gonna have to take him to the vet. All right, Bubbles, we'll take you to the vet. Another expense. We're gonna have to take him to the vet. I was gonna make coffee right now, but I mean, I gotta do a couple other things before I can even make up. We need to take the trash out. We're gonna have to take Mr. Kitty to the vet, which sucks. It's gonna be expensive. Well, I would say that when you engage any magical thinking frame of any sort, you're necessarily disconnecting from a mechanical linkage from presumed cause and effect, right? Or or argument and flow effect, so to speak. So that's implicit to a magical thinking frame. It is the case that some people mistakenly want their magical thinking frame to function like a meta frame, informative of all matters, no matter what category. Well, that's obviously not going to work as a meta frame. Like, it's the case that when you're asking me, is it descriptive of the universe? Well, it's descriptive of a universe in which one can communicate via God with prayer, right? It's descriptive of that universe. But the problem with your question is you're not understanding how people use language, right? How people use language, what they're using it for. So it is the case that some parties would attempt to afford to metaphysicalities too much concreteness, That's certainly plausible. I'm sure a lot of people do. But the thing is, it's incorrect to say that I don't understand it as descriptive of the universe, because when one's engaged in a magical thinking frame, under a magical thinking frame, then it's fine to engage things in that fashion. But I'm not currently engaged in that magical thinking frame, right? So I guess the mistake is a misunderstanding here of what a magical thinking frame is and what it does. It affords one the possibility to understand things as descriptive of the universe for the duration of the behavior engaged in. So you're saying, wait, so Eric, you're saying jogging does or doesn't cause you to sweat? Because you don't seem to be sweating right now. Well, I'm not jogging right now. So it does cause you to sweat, but only when you're jogging, right? I guess that's the best analogy for it. I think that's as explanatory as I can get. You're neither wrong nor right, because the questions are predicated on a false understanding of what a magical thinking frame is and does. There. It took me a while to get there, but I got there. Do I think reincarnation is possible? I don't know what happens after death. I have no idea. We'll find out, I guess. I have a fairly high ambiguity tolerance. Hi ing sami, hi ing sami, hi ing sami. So I see, Ruben, that rumors of an early departure were premature. Do I think reincarnation is possible? Yeah, I really don't know. So as far as topics go that are contentious, I got to the first category of topic, which was the contentious ones, and we got stuck there for an hour. So we discussed some contentious topics here that needed to be addressed, right? Like flat Earth is broadly not contentious among people who aren't extremely prone to conspiratorial thinking. Now, the thing is, I don't like the idea of conspiracy theory or whatever being used to dismiss something, but like flat Earth requires a vast amount of conspiracy among a vast amount of people to that are all on board with the lie, while presumably the rest of us are not. I mean, it's so we got that one right. We got evolution, as I've articulated, totally different subject than round Earth. One of them, globular thing, has a bunch of other stuff built on top of it, other explanations that all make sense and validate with observations. But the people probably see that my negation of evolution like people see flat Earth, even though they shouldn't, right? And then lastly, we talked about religion, which is a topic that should not be contentious at all. But of course, even though I explain why, everybody should understand it, as I do if they don't want to waste their time arguing. People continue to do what they want to do and waste their time arguing about it. There's no point in arguing about God at all. So that's one that shouldn't be contentious but is. Then, of course, you've got politics. Well, that's about as contentious as you can possibly get. I tend to avoid too much politics talk around here. I figure I don't like to swim in those anger-inducing waters unless I have something I can do about it. At least with the other things, I'm trying to make, like with evolution, at least I believe I'm convincing some people, you know? I have no idea what God's position on abortion is. I believe in hexagon Earth personally. So, yeah, I tend to try to avoid politics stuff. I know. Well, that's what I was getting at there, Putty Cat, is until I'm ready to do something about it. So once I'm in that spot, then I'll start talking a lot about politics probably, and it'll be fine because things won't be making me mad without me being able to say, and here's the solution. I will solve this. I mean, the thing is, I'm plenty well versed and deft at discussing politics. Can engage, can re immerse myself into the subject matter and engage it. I just haven't been doing much of that since I stopped coaching debate because the news is depressing. Obviously, I just see the headlines and just shake my head. I don't need to hear idiot A and idiot B arguing about idiotic topic C. You don't think that Mike Tyson should fight? How about that's a pretty good poll. Is Mike Tyson too old to fight Jake Paul? If put safely. Yeah, okay. Is Mike Tyson too old to fight Jake Paul safely? Let me put here to safely fight Jake Paul. What's going on, kitty? He's only what, 5 years older than me? Malcolm X didn't change politics. I mean, he just exemplified how what a terrible idea it is to try to militarize in a mostly well functioning democracy, you know? Cool, Ruben R. Well, you can just leave the key on the table in there and leave the door unlocked. Just make sure you don't lock it behind you. That's the only key I got. I mean, that's for you to determine what I mean safely. But isn't jogging happening? Take third person position, which I view as not me saying something that is purely coming from me, but as a result of perspective, not opinion. I think you're not materializing. Not materializing what? I mean, it's an analogy. It's not a perfect analogy, perhaps. But, well, if what you're saying is, um, like, what you're saying is to extend it to, let me see if I can give your position an analogy here. Are you saying essentially you're shadow boxing, but I can see that you aren't actually boxing another person and you seem to believe you are? Is that what you're saying? Or you're saying you're not taking a stand on whether you are or are not actually boxing somebody? The point is, when I'm boxing, I actually am boxing, and when I'm not, I'm not. It's as simple as that. You want magical thinking frames to have less flexibility than that, but they don't. That's what makes them magical thinking frames. Sure, cool. No, Putty Cat, do not host a rave. I think fighting a washed out past his prime Mike Tyson is dishonorable because prime Tyson would destroy Jake Paul. I do think it's a little dishonorable, but hey, let's beat up this old man for money. Is you know, but there's no checkout procedure. It just leaves the key on the table, leave the door unlocked. Maybe leave them both unlocked to make sure that they're unlocked. Because otherwise, they won't be able to get inside. Stupidity can be contagious, though. I don't think it really is. I think intelligence is more contagious than stupidity. But I think that wrongness, you know, there are swaths of the population that are more or less susceptible to um, buying bullshit, you know? No problem, Ruben. Hope you guys had a nice time. glad to see 70% of people so far say no. Mike Tyson's not too old to safely fight Jake Paul. I agree. You know, I'm 53. He's only 58. I wouldn't want to box Jake Paul because I'm I'm prissy like that, all right? I don't want to hurt my hands or anything. Yeah, you can. I mean, the thing is, I get it that the people who there is a phenomenon where the people who most want to be energized politically are those who want to be energized by primarily demonizing the other guy, demonizing the bad guys, right? What class would I be in? I'm 180 pounds, I think. So, what class is that? What weight class is that? Is that a light heavyweight? But at fighting weight, I'd probably be 175. I'm guessing. I do have a little teeny bit of a gut. What's 180 pounds in kilograms? I don't know. Let's see. 81.6 kilograms. It's 81.6 kilograms. I mean, I'd be willing to have a celebrity boxing match with someone on YouTube. If anyone wanted to celebrity box me. Unfortunately, I'm not much of a celebrity, you know. Who could I celebrity box? I could celebrity box Steve from Sidetrack Adventures. The problem is, I like Steve from Sidetrack Adventures. Well, I mean, to the extent that there's objectivity in a magical thinking frame, it's it's um, you're assigning meaning to actual events in the world beyond the meaning that those actual events uh, inform. So, if you want to incorporate that end of it, you could. I don't, but like you can choose to make meaning that way as well as simply put meaning. I mostly put meaning, but that's just my personal preference as to the directionality of meaning go. Well, here's what makes it not wordplay, Ray. I actually had to have prayer and faith in order to quit drinking alcohol 10 years ago. So that's what makes it real. It was the critical element in me going from being a self-loathing, miserable drunk to being the happy, successful person I am today. I'm not sure what Mr. Mark's talking about. Uh oh. Jeez. That was horrible of him to do that. Oh, I think if fighting weight would be 175. I'm currently 180. I think I'd probably cut 5 pounds, right? Hi, K. Bye, K. Um, Jeremiah Fix posits that Mike Tyson theoretically, hypothetically, could be using some kind of performance enhancing drug, but I don't think we have any reason to believe that, do we? I mean, we should really have a reason to believe that before we suggest that's likely. What's TRT? Oh, testosterone replacement therapy? So I'm curious what Lay Ray does now with this reality. I get what you've been trying to do, Lay Ray, which is say, that's not really Christianity. You're doing the same thing that a lot of Christians try to do with me as well. Unfortunately, my faith has had powerful, meaningful impacts changing my life. So, sorry, you're not going to win there either. Mooney host. Message retracted. Casey Jones was in the Grateful Dead song, true. Hey, do you guys like Duncan Trussell? I don't know who Duncan Trussell is. A Royal Rumble cage match with Eric Amy Y, a Rooster, and Eric Thor. Who's Amy Y? Oh, Amy Y, right. All right, well, listen. It'll be me and Amy Y versus Eric Thor and Frank James. We'll get Frank James involved too. He's more famous than the rest of us. What's Sean's ELO on chess? I don't know. You mean his Electric Light Orchestra? I have no idea how many of the signers of the Declaration were self-identified as Christians. I don't know. Uni host says Tyson is going to win the fight. Not only is he not too old, but he's going to beat up Jake, apparently. That'd be great if he does, but I don't think it's going to happen. I can't believe there's not even going to be a real fight. Like, come on, Jake Paul. What a P.T. Barnum that guy is. I can't take Duncan Trussell. I used to like him, but it's just unbridled without any reasonability. I just feel like he's doing what ifs or useless, unrealistic crap. What what kind of stuff does he do exactly? Tyson doing what we've all been wanting to do. Fake Paul? You think Jake Paul and Fake Paul are really the same guy? You think Fall? That's horrible. No thanks, Travis Hebert. That sounds horrible. So, Ruben, give me an example. Imagine if we were all just paper bags right now, that we're lying to ourselves, telling ourselves we're human, but we're really just paper bags. We gotta take the cat to the vet. Should we do that today or what?
Yeah, I guess so.
He's obviously he's getting worse, He's getting worse, so he must be infected or something.
No.
I don't blame him for choosing money over legacy. It's a lot of money. A Michigan judge was astonished when a man busted for driving with a suspended license appeared before him in a courtroom Zoom call while driving a car. Where's the nearest vet to us? Do we have to go to Oakhurst or is there one in Mariposa? There's a vet right there in Bootjack? How convenient.
It is convenient.
It closes at 5 though. So we can go after you eat. We'll just have to get trouble in the cat carrier. Alright. Oh, it's down here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so oh, that's no, it's here. Okay, I thought it was down here. That's what I was thinking.
Oh.
I was confused. No, it's just straight out Dara down here in this part of Bootjack. Okay. So now we're gonna have to mess around with this horrible ordeal of getting the cat in the cat carrier. Alright. We need to leave here by 4 at the latest.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to maybe call them and let them know we're going to be coming. But let's get the cat in the cat carrier first. Alright, I'm going to have to get the cat carrier down from the attic. Poor kitty. And poor pocketbook. Vets are so expensive. not up here? I don't see them up there. So maybe they're in the garage someplace? They gotta be up here. Where else could they possibly be? Okay, they have to be up there. First I have to go pee. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I can't find them up there. They can't possibly be anyplace else. But I probably have them broken down as small as I can get them. Maybe that's why I can't find them. Oh, my poor kitty. I wonder what night that was that the cat got bit by that animal. All right, Bubbles. Now look, if I can't find your cat carrier, we're gonna have to use a different kind of container to carry you in. All right, let me look up here. one more time and see if I can find this fucking thing. You can come up with me this time so you won't be so bored. Okay. Now, wait, is this over here? Yeah. Alright, so I gotta move a few things out of the way. I found it though, that's good. Alright, let me just put this here for now. I don't know if you can see, but it's back there. Okay. So you just left that one out. Oh well. All right. It's so hot. It must be very warm outside to be so hot up in the attic. Fortunately, Trouble right now is kind of feeling sick, you know, so he should be easier to deal with than normal. Okay.
You got him in. Oh, he's behind the thing.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. I thought he was in the living room. That's why I brought it in here.
Either that or Capito. Let me check.
I bet that's Capito.
Oh, it's Cub.
Oh. Okay. Wow. You want to help me with this?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Let me bring it down to the ground. Or... Just give me 1 second. Okay. All right. So, let me move this over here. And then what we're going to do is put one of these up here like this, and then put the meow on top of it like this.
I see.
All right. And I'll do the other side here. Poor Bubbles.
No. There's this like bigger one. Let's take a different.
Yeah, don't put any of that. That's for what do they call them? Zip ties.
Oh.
You're supposed to zip tie that as an extra level of precaution
Oh.
so that it doesn't fall apart. I'm not worried about that happening. If we have all of these things in, it's not going to fall apart.
No.
I mean, it's like maybe if we use this cat carrier all the time and there was a chance that like over time these things would come loose or something, it might not be a terrible idea to have a zip tie as a emergency brace to these 4 holes, but it's absolutely not necessary.
Do we have tip zip ties anywhere?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not saying to use them. I'm just saying in that situation.
You could use it.
Here?
Wherever you see a... No, it wouldn't be there, would it? No, oh yeah, you're right. That's for...
Oh, when it's closed?
Yeah, I guess so. Seems like we're missing a couple of screws and bolts, though.
My side has 4.
Okay. So let me take this. We'll put the zip ties, and I'll use this one here in the front instead of back here. I don't know. Maybe there's another bag of zip ties that you can see.
Do you want me to put this one back?
No. We'll use that for this thing if we need it.
Okay.
If we don't need it for this, then that's fine. But maybe we don't need it for this. I'm not quite sure how this works. All right. Let me just.
Sure.
So these ones. Okay, let's see. I put it on backward.
Oh no! Why do you know how to do it? Cool.
Now, put this one here. This one here. There. Okay. All right, now we got to try to get the cat into this.
Okay.
What time is it? It's only 3:35. Let's take this into the living room for a second.
Okay.
Let's maybe give him a chance to just sort of follow us in there. See if he does. And then when he's resting, we can get him kind of with his sleep a little bit. Then we'll open up this. Hopefully he's not too scared by the sight of this. Think he's going to be scared by the sight of it?
Me?
Yeah, what do you think he's going to be scared by
I
this?
don't know.
All right, well, let's take a break. Let's take a drink of drink. It's going to be pretty difficult to grab him from the windowsill, you know? It'd be easier if he came in here. Hi, Capillo. All right, let's see what's going on in the chat while we pull a longer for two.
Should I call the vet to see if they have availability?
Yeah, sure. That sounds like a good idea. Yeah, hello vet and hello $1,000 invoice. Exactly. Yeah, we don't know exactly what it was, but It smelled like a mammal. Put a towel in the crate. I think I might even put like one of my dirty shirts in there or something for him to smell.
Yeah, I was thinking something like that too.
All right, so why don't you call the vet?
Okay.
Thank you for calling All Creatures. This is Jill. How may I help you?
Hi, we have a cat who's injured, and we wanted to see if you have any availability today.
Today we do not have any availability. I have some reference numbers I can give you.
Uh, you know what? Yeah, that'd be great. Hold on, let me just get my notes.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so there's Oakhurst Vet in Oakhurst, and their number is 559
559
777
777
6777.
77. Okay.
And then Animal Hospital of Sierra, and their number is 559
559
683
683
3313.
13. Okay. All right. Great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right. I'll call those places. Thank you very much.
No, you're fine. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Man, I don't want to drive all the way down there to Oakhurst.
I know. Should I call back and see if they have any of it? Because they're not available today.
You think you'll be okay till tomorrow?
He's not like.
All right, we'll call back, see if we can get an appointment in the morning tomorrow. Because that's so much more convenient than driving all the way down to Oakhurst. I think he'll make it okay until tomorrow.
I do too.
I mean,
I was gonna ask. I don't know why I didn't. I'm sorry.
I thought about it then at the time, but I didn't. Yeah.
Thank you for calling All Creatures. This is John. May I help you?
Hi, my name is Rachel. I just called about my cat who's injured, and you gave me references.
Yes.
I was just wondering if there's any availability tomorrow.
I really don't have anything tomorrow either.
Okay.
We are booked to follow tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
And then we're closed Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
I disagree, Putty Cat. It would have been a better thing for us to show up there, and then they have to deal with us. I disagree entirely. That's not how the world works, right? If you better to seek forgiveness than permission. Better to impose on people who don't want you there and get your problem solved the way you want than to find out in advance. Yeah, I guess I'm going to go today.
Where are we gonna go?
Well, call Oakhurst. I mean, you just say, well, I'm concerned my cat's not going to make it, and we have a bad clutch, and I'm not even sure if we're going to make it to Oakhurst, and I deal with it, you know. Sometimes you gotta interface. Now we can't do that.
Thank you for calling Oakers Veterinary Hospital. This is Tony. How can I help you?
Hi, my name is Rachel Strauss, and we have an injured cat. We were wondering if you have any availability today.
What was your last name again?
Strauss, Strauss.
What was your first name?
Rachel?
We've never seen your pet here before.
No.
Okay. Let me see. All right. Yeah, it doesn't look like until I have anything until next week. There are some larger hospitals down in Fresno, as well as the emergency center.
In Fresno,
I
huh?
recommend you get your speed.
Okay. So, okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Bye. There's one more number, Sierra Animal.
Well, our cat's not doing well, Carl. Driving to Fresno doesn't sound very much fun.
No.
Good afternoon, Animal Hospital Sierra. This is Jackie.
Hi, my name is Rachel Strauss, and we have an injured cat, and was wondering if there's availability today to see him.
Oh, have you guys been here before?
No, we haven't.
Okay, Rachel. And how old's the cat?
We're not sure.
We're not sure. He was a stray.
What's going on with the cat?
He got bitten by some kind of animal. There was a fight the other night, and I'm not sure what kind of animal it was, but it smelled like some kind of mammal when I got there and shooed it away. And now
Where did he get bit at? What part of the body?
on his foot or bottom leg part. I'm not sure. First, it seemed to start getting better on its own, but now he's starting to limp more. So.
Okay, and he's limping. Are we eating and drinking okay?
Not. I mean, he seems like he's not feeling well.
Okay, so how's his energy level? Is he lethargic?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on just a moment and let me see what I have, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
Well, this one's called an animal hospital, so presumably it's for emergencies or whatever. But I'm sure that makes it more expensive too, you know. I mean, I think he is infected, but you know, Capillo had an infected leg where she got bit one time. And do I get along with people on the phone well? Not especially well or poorly, really. Just. Well, who's calling me?
I don't know the number at all. Sebring, Ohio. I'm not gonna answer it.
No, not that I can see. Yeah, I know. It's going to be expensive. We did this with Capillo before, so we know how expensive it is. Well, Trouble has cat AIDS, so that may contribute to his, difficulty fighting off the infection. Oh yeah, I'm never disrespectful on the phone. I'm just maybe.
All right. Unfortunately, we don't have anything tonight. So you are more than welcome to check with Oakhurst Fair Town or take them down to the valley. However, Dr. Taylor did advise that she has a little wiggle room in her schedule for tomorrow, but it'd be about 11:45, and there could be a little bit of a wait.
Where are you located? Are you in Mariposa?
Wait, no, we're in Oakhurst.
Oh, you're in Oakhurst. Okay,
We're
well,
on
still
Highway
that's a lot.
41 at River.
Okay.
Across from the Denny's.
All right, let's take that.
let's
Yeah,
take it.
yeah, we'll take that. That way we don't have to go to Fresno.
Okay.
You're our last
So
hope.
that way you guys don't have to go to Fresno.
Yeah.
Just monitor overnight. Obviously, if he gets worse, then you're allowed to take him down to the ER.
Okay. Well, let's make the appointment. If we do end up doing that, we will call you first thing in the morning and let you know that we've already done that.
First thing to cancel.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For sure.
Possible. Gosh, I can't type it. My nails are too long. I need to jump off animal. Right. And then let me get some info from you guys. I'm just going to do a quick information. First name.
I'll have it under Eric, ERIC.
Under Eric.
Yeah.
Okay. Last name Strauss.
Yes.
Okay. Is it STRAUSS?
Correct.
Okay, perfect. And then I have the phone number that you called on, the 516-582-4736. Is that a good number?
Yes, it's a good number.
Okay. And then what is this kitty's name?
Trouble.
Trouble. Alright. Trouble feline. Are we short hair, medium hair, long hair?
Long
Or
hair.
what kind of breed?
He's a
Long
big,
hair.
yeah, maybe, I don't know what kind of cat it is, but it's a big cat, like kind of as big as a Maine Coon, but I don't know if it is
He's
one
got
or not.
short hair though, yeah.
But he has so much of it though. I think he's long hair. I don't know, medium hair?
Medium?
Medium.
Maybe
Medium. Yeah.
We'll call him medium. Okay, and has he been neutered?
Yes.
Okay, so he's a neutered male. And then what color?
He's gray and white.
White. And then about how old?
Maybe, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 or 7. We really don't know. He's not super old, I don't think.
Okay, all right. That's good enough. We will see you with Trouble tomorrow. And I put it at 11:40, so.
All right, great. We'll be there.
11:40, and we'll get you guys fitted, okay?
All right, thanks so
Thank you
much.
so
We
much.
appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a nice evening.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay.
I feel grateful that they squeezed us in.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
So what is it called again? I'm gonna put it on the calendar.
Sierra?
And then tomorrow, May 30th at 11.
Yeah, she was a nice and helpful lady.
Sierra.
I mean, I forget exactly what it was called.
Let me see.
So hi Geezy baby. And can you do a meat reveal? No, I cannot. Well, I am worried about my cat, and if in fact he starts seeming really sick in the night, like for example, if I see him start to pant, if you see a cat pant, that's not good. If he gets genuinely sick during the night, then we'll have to just take him to Fresno. I mean, Animal Hospital of Sierra, is that what it's called?
Think. Yeah, Animal Hospital of Sierra.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Putty Cat. Highway 42. Yeah, we know where it is. I mean, Oakhurst doesn't have that. There's not very much place to see in Oakhurst, so we'll figure that out, no problem. I mean, I don't think he has any internal injuries because, when it first happened, he limped a little bit, and then he seemed to get more or less all the way better, and then it started going downhill again, which suggests to me he got infected.
Yeah.
At least we got the cat carrier ready. All right, put a cat. I'm willing to concede the following. It was good idea. It was a good idea to call ahead. You win. You win this point. All right. He eats a little bit of food, but not that much, you know. He's right here now. He's chilling. I wouldn't call it acute. What do you mean by acute? You know, he's not in obvious discomfort most of the time, unless they see him walking, then he's limping a little bit. If you think it's a broken leg or something, well, Capito's leg was totally messed up,
Yeah,
and she did
was
not have
worse.
any break at all.
Wasn't.
Well, there is winning and losing the point of whether it was a good idea to call ahead. And the fact is, it was. Okay? I concede that point. I initially tried to reject that point, but I now concede it. I mean, it's on his foot, right? It's not like he's not gonna have internal injuries like his organs are injured or something. Um,
He's definitely feeling something though because his plate, he's not eating.
right, not eating much. I need to clean the litter box in the garage. I noticed that it was a real mess. Um, so maybe I will go do that in a second. Jeff Ferguson says my pre-Kantian outlook will eventually fail you. Just so you know, fail to accomplish what? First of all, I don't concede that I have a pre-Kantian outlook, but whatever outlook it is that you're referencing, what do you imagine it being purposed to do? It needs to be purposed to do something before it can fail to do it, right?
Do you think that we can go food shopping tomorrow while?
Yeah, we might as well. We'll take the cat to the vet.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll leave you there.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can
I'll
stay back
and
and
I'll
then
go
you
to the
go food
grocery store or
shopping,
go
yeah.
grocery shopping. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the next day maybe. Oh my god, we have to get the fucking. I got another call from the pharmacy. See, like the gabapentino's not do or die. I just feel bad that it's there.
You feel embarrassed that we haven't picked it up.
We're always so good.
Right.
But
Well, he's been vaccinated because he had to be vaccinated before he could stay in the cat hotel. So we had to get his rabies vaccine and something else before he could stay in the cat hotel. So I'm not worried about that particularly.
I think it is an infection. Like the day after it happened, Trouble was like up and about and fine, and I was like, "Whoa!" Like
Right.
it didn't affect him.
Yeah, he
but
seemed just fine
he's not exactly like
over the last few days.
Yeah, and he's not exactly like the cleanest cat, and he has been licking it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and today it looked pretty. I noted that today it seemed to maybe be a little bit swollen. In previous times I looked at it, I said, well, it's not swollen at all. You know, he'll probably just get over it. Do you believe in free? I'm not sure if free is a thing you can believe in. If you're asking about free will, yeah, I can explain my argumentation about free will too if you'd like. The determinists have the burden to describe a universe in which our status quo relationship with time existed and we did have free will, and how it would be different than the status quo, or else we default to free will because we have plenty of indications that it is, including things like we can distinguish between varying degrees of freedom in which one exercises one's will. We can additionally imagine a world in which somebody didn't have any free will, where their brain was wired up and somebody else controlled all of their bodily motions and stuff, right? So we can conceive of an agent that doesn't have free will and actually being deterministic. We can generate models of deterministic things. In fact, that's what computer programming mostly is, right? And we can distinguish between things that are deterministic and non-deterministic. In other words, things that you can predict with 100% certainty and things you can't. So, in other words, until the determinists can describe a universe in which free will exists and the current basic laws of physics sort of exist, in other words, time moves one direction, then they aren't making any meaningful distinction, right? They're just saying our understanding of freedom, varying degrees of capacity to make your own choices, and the culpability that goes along with it, both legally and morally, is an illusion. But there's no reason to think that just because something's metaphysical, it's illusory. Yeah, good job, Rachel, with the phone calls.
Sure, of course.
So I think hopefully the cat will be fine enough until tomorrow. I'm not going to try to give the cat any drugs of any sort. If the cat gets sick enough that I need to do that, then we will drive him to Fresno. You know, it's an hour and a half to Fresno. Oakhurst is halfway to Fresno in terms of time. 45 minutes to Oakhurst, then another 45 minutes to Fresno. Maybe a little more. Yeah, he probably does just need an antibiotic. Well, what they had to do with Capilla when she got bit by a wild animal and it got really infected, she disappeared after she got bit by a wild animal. And we didn't see her for days. And then finally, when Rachel saw her in the bush, she was like obviously not well. Her leg was all swollen up. She was like, I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? And we rushed her to the vet right away.
I remember it so well. I literally got back from, like, you picked me up from the airport and you were like, I haven't seen Capio in a couple days. And then, like,
A picture from the airport? Where were
like,
you
it was
going
like the
from?
same, it was like literally like the same day that, like, I arrived in California. And she was hiding. We were walking through the driveway and she was behind the bushes.
It's the day you arrived in California for the first time?
No, not for the first time.
Oh, for the
No,
second
like
time.
for the second time,
Okay,
I think. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he doesn't seem that sick. I'm not too worried about him dying or getting too much worse during the night. But I also don't want him to suffer any longer than he has to. So, still, this will save some wear and tear on the car. We've been doing a good job of not driving, and but the other thing is tomorrow. Capio was my cat. Trouble's been our cat from the get go. Capio was a cat I brought with me to Arcadia. But Trouble is a cat that Rachel and I have been dealing with from the outset together. So I don't know. Trouble thinks he's more my cat
Yeah.
now. And Capio, I think she feels like both of our cats. Just
She
equally,
does.
yeah. She spends a lot of time with Rachel.
Yeah.
Hi, E King 247. So I'm not really sure how much longer I'm going to be streaming for today. The Oakland A's are on. The New York Mets are losing to the Los Angeles Dodgers right now. Well, Soderstrom, I think, just put you back in the minors. After your hot start, you just looked terrible every at bat since. You can just see it on his face too. He has zero confidence right now. They need to put him back to AAA for a while, where he can regain his form or something. If anybody in the world wants to know specifics about so the poll, we're close the poll here. The answer is no. It is not. Wait. Yeah, I am growing some right now. No, he was a cat that wanted to he was a cat who basically originally wanted to hump our cat, I think, even though she wasn't in heat, but also wanted us to feed him sometimes. But he was still had his balls. At some point, he got his balls cut off by the animal control people, and then he all of a sudden was like, "Oh, I love you so much. I want to be your cat, but I'm still a super big dick." Is Mike Tyson too old to safely fight Jake Paul? No. Win 65-34. Good for everybody saying no. That's a good support of old people. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Sure, I'll show you right now. Fine. I have time right now. So the thing is, determinists just want everything to be like they want every direction to be up. That's just not how. Like we parse things the way we do for a reason. Words mean certain things if they do mean anything because they make very real distinctions. Whether that distinction is about something concrete or not is not relevant. I mean, we'd end up with, if we were to somehow embrace the determinist positions, we'd just end up with different words for exactly the same things. Instead of like rights and responsibilities, we'd have That's what I got growing right now. And everything seems to be happy, seems to be doing well. But they're young still. It's early in the growing season. I think I might I want to transplant one of those that's in a pot currently into a bigger pot. And then I want to transplant maybe another one into the ground, but maybe the other one into a bigger pot too. I'm not sure. I'd like to start budding some, like as early as maybe middle or late June, which means they'll have to be in a pot that I can transport back and forth into the garage, or be in a pot where I can put like a trash can over it to make it dark sooner, but that's not this ideal really. So I will have to cover up the windows in my garage so the sunlight doesn't get in there. Every direction is up in space. Is it? You know what I would say? No matter what in space, wherever your feet are counts as down. It's not necessarily the case on Earth, but in space, wherever your feet are count as down. So, right, that's what I was going to do. I was going to pop out this chat. All right, Oakland Athletics here. So, this is what I wish I had a bumper sticker that said this. Determinists can suck my butt. Wouldn't that be a great bumper sticker? Determinists can suck my butt. I think that'd be a great bumper sticker. No. If determinists can, then crossed out, must suck my butt. All right, if you're already folded in half, then it depends. If you fold yourself in half, if you're very limber and fold yourself in half, does everybody's tip of their head touch the tip of their toes? Or is everybody exactly halfway each way? I wonder about that. Does anybody know if that's the case? If you fold yourself directly in half, is your top half the same size as your bottom half? Well, let's address this fold in half question before we start folding people into thirds, Putty Cat. I don't feel as though the fold in half question's been adequately answered. We had a couple of positions here stated. Toes are above head. Okay, so your head doesn't reach all the way to your toes. All right, that makes sense. I want to know, is it the same for everybody? So is the ratio of your top half from your waist to your head versus from your waist to your feet, is it the same for everybody?
For top hats?
No, I'm saying if you were to fold a person in half at their waist, where would their head land? Here's their tips of their toes right here, right?
Okay.
Is their head going to land here, here, here? It's going to land here is what I think we've determined. Is it's going to be short of your feet, right?
Let me try.
But I want to know if that's going to be the same ratio for everybody who folds in half.
No, I don't think so, because some people have longer torsos than they do legs, and some people have more legs than they do torso.
You seem to have more legs than torso.
I do.
But it could be the waist on that dress is deceiving me.
I have high waist. I have high waist syndrome.
Oh, you have high waist syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little different than high hip syndrome.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah. My waist is like right here. So let's see.
So in answer to your question, Gremlin. In answer to your question, yes, two-dimensional beings exist.
Where'd you go, Pipito?
For example, this two-dimensional being. I'm Clarkson Hughes. Yeah, what's this over there? I'm Clarkson Hughes.
Whose soulmate is Clarkson Hughes?
I didn't even write it on there. Clarkson Hughes has been liberated from being a soulmate, I guess.
Wow, he's so lucky.
By lack of attribution. Everything is alive. Certainly Clarkson Hughes is alive. He's perhaps the only person I know that's truly alive. Is that person still here? Will you stop making dumbass enigmatic statements and then refusing to explain yourself? It pisses me off. If you're going to say that my pre-Kantian framework, which I never attributed to myself, which you've attributed to me, is going to fail me, then at least tell me what it's going to fail to do. That means anybody can potentially try to become Clarkson Hughes' significant other. In 2002, what?
Clarkson Hughes, what is he wearing on his head?
I think that's a hat that goes underneath here, you know?
Oh.
I don't know what you call that, but
I wasn't sure if it was his hair. I see it now, like with the flap.
it's kind of like a bicycle helmet, maybe even, but I think it's a hat that kind of looks like a bicycle helmet.
He's great.
So, a lady, a junior high school student, I guess, no, a junior in high school in Pomona folded a single piece of paper in half 12 times and currently holds the Guinness World Record. 12 times?
What do you think about that?
How big was the piece of paper and does it matter? That's what I think about it. Is it easier to do with a bigger piece of paper? Do I like art? I'd be painting. Good for you. Painting's wonderful. So what do you guys think? Is it easier to fold more folds into a piece of paper that's bigger up to a point? In other words, is there any change in ease of doing it depending on paper size? One of those things you could Google. Standard 8.5 by 11 paper. Yeah, it would be kind of crazy if the Genzennial wound up with Clarkson Hughes. It's like, where did Clarkson Hughes go? And then I checked YouTube and Genzennial's streaming. He's got Clarkson Hughes next to him. Hello, Genzennial. I'm Clarkson Hughes. Mythbusters tested it? What, the paper fold thing? What did they conclude? I agree with you. I'm going to bet the same way that you are, William. I'm going to bet that I cannot do it more than 7 times. I'm imagining I don't even want to do it 1 time. So the idea of me being successfully motivated to continue doing it more than 1 time seems unlikely to me. I mean, it's hard to say what kind of animal it was that fought with trouble, but my guess would be maybe a coyote, a small coyote. If you fold paper enough, you can reach the moon. Whatever it was having trouble tangling with trouble, such that it wasn't going away. Like, I first heard the and I was just like, what's going on out there? And then I heard it get escalating, and I went all the way out there. It was still going on until right when I got over there, and I smelled the smell of a musky mammal of some kind. Now it was not a domesticated cat because the smell of it was clearly like wild animal musk. Whether it was coyote, raccoon, I don't know. Could have been a small coyote. Trouble's a big cat, and he's a tough cat too. Could have been a small bobcat potentially. I do like cheese, yes. So I don't know. It's like my little dog Lacey survived a coyote attack, and she's small. She was smaller and less tough than Trouble by far. Read this, says Putty Cat. Okay, I did. Do you, maybe a raccoon or a skunk? Could be either of those. You're wrong about the size of the paper. Well, I believe that the record has to be done on a certain standard paper, maybe, but I'm wondering whether a given size of paper is better to use. Seems like if you have a smaller piece of paper, it's going to be harder to fold it more times, but maybe I'm wrong about that. Go to the website. All right, I'll Google it. Do I care that much? I guess. What kind of paper size, etc., is best for folding? How many times can you fold a piece of paper? All right, so AI overview. It's commonly believed you can't fold a piece of paper in half more than 7 times, but the actual limit depends on several factors. surface area. Each fold reduces the paper surface area by half, so eventually there's not enough surface area left to fold. Thickness. With each fold, the number of layers doubles, making the paper thicker and harder to fold, in theory. Folding a piece of paper 26 times would make it thicker than Mount Everest. What? That can't be the case. Mathematical equations can help determine the maximum number of folds possible based on the paper's length, thickness, and desired width. What happens if you try to fold a paper with a hydraulic press? So Brittany Gallivan folded a single sheet of toilet paper 12 times. Why is paper folding so hard? The first time you fold it in half, it becomes 150 millimeters long and 0.1 millimeter thick. It's assuming you've got a paper that's 300 millimeters long and 0.05 millimeters thick. Second fold takes you to 75 and 0.2. By the eighth fold, if you can get there, you have a blob of paper 1.25 millimeters long, but 12.8 millimeters thick. It's now thicker than it is long, and if you're trying to bend it, it seems to have the structural integrity of steel.
Would you like me to put the pot in the dishwasher?
Sure.
Okay. I'm not gonna run it though because there's not that much in there.
Is that the only dish that's in the sink?
Now it is.
Okay, don't worry, leave it in the sink. I'll wash it right now, and then I'll maybe make some fried rice.
That'd be great.
I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, I'm hungry. Are you hungry?
Yeah, I'm hungry. All right, I'll do that. A 30 folds gets you to space. 42 folds gets you to the moon. 81 folds, and your paper will be 127,786 light years, almost as thick as the Andromeda Galaxy. At 103 folds, you'll get outside the observable universe. Wow. So regarding this is really interesting. So the aptly named hydraulic press channel on YouTube has attempted to fold an A3 piece of paper in half 7 times using a hydraulic press to achieve the final folds. Let's just say the results are pretty weird. Things go perfectly fine until we get to that infamous 7th fold. As the paper goes in, the hydraulic press clamps down, we hear a bang and see that the paper has basically exploded into a hard, chalky substance that crumbles into pieces. It doesn't even look like paper anymore. So what just happened? As Thomas Amadon, a professor of paper and bioprocess engineering at SUNY's College of Environmental Science, says, the most likely explanation was calcium carbonate. The substance is added into the paper mix at the mill to make the finished product more opaque and stiff than it would be just composed of wood fibers. Well, that's very interesting. Very interesting indeed. All right, now let's go make some, yeah. Sasha, you and me both. I'm also 6'5", built like a stick. Well, the point is, you can't actually fold it that many folds, right? The thing is, if you could do the math, you could sort of decompose things into a string of atoms. You see, oh, the atoms in this paper stretch from here to the moon. Okay, well, it's not because there's that much length in the paper per se. It's that you've reduced it to beyond real possibilities in terms of it still being the same thing at all. It would be infinitesimally small and infinitesimally tall, right? I mean, infinitely tall, like hugely tall and very small, beyond the capacity anything could physically be. All right. Hi, Bubbles. How are you? How are you, Senior Mister? Okay. Well, I'm glad we were able to get you an appointment. They did warn us we might have to wait a minute. That's fine. Rachel will wait with you. Go to the store, get food. Okay. Now it's time to make fried rice. Let me take this trash out. Tomorrow's the open mic.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure.
I don't.
I think probably you should not go because we're gonna have a long day. I may still be able to pour myself. It's gonna be a very long day.
Yeah.
Okay, now we'll get a trash bag. We need more trash bags.
You do need more good.
Yeah, so if you're making a list,
I'll make a list and
check it twice.
yeah.
So-
I'll send it to you. I'll like take a screenshot of it and send it to you.
All right, cool.
I think we need more, I think we're okay with paper towels.
Yeah,
We have the scrappy ones we don't like.
it's not like we're not gonna use them if we get more, you know. But
So paper towels?
yeah, we'll get a few. We'll get a small package of them. So now we're going to make this fried rice on the 923 method. Typically, like in the city, for example, at sea level, let's say, you might depending on the kind of rice, if they were like the jasmine rice or something, you might get away with as few as 25 total minutes. 5 minutes to boil, 20 to cook, right? You might get away with that down at sea level if you got a hot enough burner to get it to boil fast, maybe. Here, with this kind of rice, we're looking at 9 minutes and 23 minutes, so 32 instead of 25. You more like 26 in the city, probably 6 minutes to boil. But this is some slow cooking rice. All right, now while we're waiting for that first 9 minutes to go, we will begin our secondary component, and that is sausage. I'm going sausage, yeah?
Yeah. Moving on to, by the way, this coffee pot leaves black liquid, and I know you have not stained your counter. I'm using it inside the sink, but it may cause trouble in the future.
What?
Ruben says, by the way, Aaron's coffee pot.
Oh, sorry. Just throw it away if you can. Oh, that's right. Just if you don't mind, just throw it away before you go. Then, and I'll throw it away here when I bring the trash back over here. Now we're going to get this. And what else? We get one of these. And we'll go over here. So these go. Get the cutting board out. All right, let me arrange the camera better. There are occasions, like with the clutch for the car and with this vet situation, where you really do feel the disadvantages / difficulties of living in a very remote spot, you know? Like, there's zero possible public transportation or really other realistic way for me to get back to my house from anywhere out in the world other than by vehicle. If I was a big exercise guy, I could do it on a bicycle, I suppose. But I'm not that big of an exercise guy. Alright, now that we've gotten this sausage, we will place it in here. some of this Chianti in here. And I'll begin chopping up this onion. Okay. Now we just chop this onion into, we just dice it, you know. We want it as small as possible. Okay. We're on the burner. And we're going to put a little bit of this garlic in here. Put a little bit more of this wine. And a little bit of water maybe. No, I'm not going to put it. Just put the wine in fine like this. Just let that go. This is about ready to be lidded and put on for 23 minutes. All right, well, it seems, you might say, about right. Timer. Because I've got 23 minutes till that's done. This will let sit for a bit by itself. Put this away. Put this away. This we might still need, so I'm going to leave this out here. Alright, now I'm going to make another pot of coffee, which I planned to do earlier, but I never got around to doing. Okay. Horrible eggs. Horrible eggs. Get Okay, well that's good enough. Now we've got this and this ready to go. Just put that right here someplace. Should be fine. And then let's take this, fill it up. I also need to clean the cat box. It's totally gross right now. Desperately needs to be cleaned. Make some hot, delicious coffee. That'll amaze everyone and make them so happy. Everyone will say, wow, what a great job you're doing, Eric. Eric, within your smoking, I can't read that. All right. Now let's carry this back in here. All right. Let's put this in here. Like meow. There. Now, okay. There. All right, now the copy's done. Let's look at this. Make a couple little adjustments here. All right. Wash off this knife. This knife can be put away. chopping the sausage up into small pieces because you want it to have an even spread among the rices. Grain, the grain of rice.
The grain of rice.
Yeah. Well, because they're not called pieces of rice. They're called grains of rice. Yeah.
It sounds like some sort of like southern TV special.
The grain of rice.
Yeah.
I see it, Papa. I see the grain.
It's been forever since we've had the grain.
The grain come back to us because we love the Lord.
Does the grain go all the way through?
The grain starts at one end of the rice and ends at the other end of the rice. Okay. So that's cooking up nicely now. And we're going to let it cook a little bit more, but not too much more. I'm just going to cook this down until this liquid in here is gone. Best I can. And then I just turn it off and we'll wait for the rice. Because the rice is cooked this length of time now, I shouldn't need to let it sit really, just maybe a minute. But it should be correctly done. I've been undercooking rice a little bit as I've adjusted exactly how many minutes I wanted or whatever. The reason I have to continue adjusting is because this rice cooks differently than the jasmine rice. This rice takes a little bit longer. This is Mahatma rice. So if you're a Mahatma brand using person, you know what I'm talking about. They didn't have the jasmine long grain last time. You might say, Eric, I saw you pour the rice out of a jasmine long grain bag rice. Yes, I did pour it out of there, but I put the Mahatma in there because it's a better bag. Yeah, Mahatma rice, right. I season it with garlic, onions, and red wine. No salt, pepper, or anything else like that yet. But when I put the rice in with the sausages, that's when I'll add soy sauce and make it into fried rice. And that's when I'll also add an egg. That's 10 minutes from now. This could cook a little bit longer. Oops. Why do I keep doing the wrong one? Still too much liquid in here, see? The primary flavor of this whole dish is soy sauce, you know, but the onions and garlic and sausage here cooked in red wine, well, that's not really how normally you cook things in Asian cuisine. Like, Asians wouldn't cook this in red wine, I don't think. But that's fine. It still will taste good. All right, that's good enough. 6 more minutes on this. It'll be more than that until the coffee's done, I'm sure. Trouble with the trusting kitty. He believes I will not step on him.
Yeah.
Today I saw someone who looks just like you, almost exactly. It was insane at Chevron. I told the employee about you and showed him a picture of you. He was like, wow, yeah, we do look very similar.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, well, I'm not putting any fish sauce. Atomic Elf once said, I love jasmine rice, but I noticed it doesn't satisfy your hunger, huh?
Oh, I love jasmine rice.
Trouble's not going to the vet today. We called around and he'll go tomorrow. We made an appointment. So that's fine. It would be, obviously, you know, I worry about Kitty. But I don't want to drive all the way to Fresno to get it done today.
Like, I feel like I'm pretty grateful that they
Yeah, me too.
were able to slide us in.
Scallions are just a kind of onions. I already have onions in there. This stinky thing. That's a gross joke, Putty Cat. There, you stinker. There. I fixed it. All right. Well, the A's are up 1-0.
Oh!
We don't have a rice cooker. We cook rice the old-fashioned way, by cooking it. You have cold brewed Don Francisco vanilla nut, huh? Is that a new disease I've never heard of before? Yeah, the doctor diagnosed me with DFVNS, Don Francisco vanilla nut syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why my rice is never exactly the same. Dana Carvey, it's got scallions from Lost in Paradise is my favorite line. What's better than roses on your piano, tulips on your organ? It's just silly.
I don't get it.
2 lips on your organ.
Oh. Oh, I see.
Chopping broccoli. I went downtown. He got some broccoli. Now he's chopping broccoli. That's a great song. I'm so glad you referenced chopping broccoli. Excellent job,
That's
Atomic
a real
Elf.
song?
Yeah, it's a Dana Carvey song on Saturday Night Live, I think.
No.
Oh,
Can't
boo!
believe
They
it.
scored. They got a triple. Well, yeah. It's all right. We'll come back from that. What did I come here to get? Oh yeah, another drink. I'm out of beverage. No, Rachel didn't get it, but
No.
I got it, and obviously you understood it as well. Can I talk Julia Childs as I finish cooking? Yeah, I could probably do some of that anyway.
I think you could definitely do it. You're a champ.
Oh, really? Chopping Broccoli's on a stand-up special. Did not know that.
I always thought that Dana Carvey was funny.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Like, not his movies or anything like that. Like,
It's his Saturday Night Live
yeah,
work.
yeah.
I don't know what movies he's made.
Oh, just like this Yertle the Turtle or something. That turtle movie was so bad. I didn't see it, but
Yeah. True. James Brown and the Hot Tub is also a classic. That one's actually a little older than when I was watching Saturday Night Live. So it's like I watched starting maybe a few years after that period of Saturday Night Live. Why do girls go skydiving wearing jock straps so they don't whistle on their way down? Okay, fair enough. I think I've probably seen it, but it did predate my active paying attention, watching. There was some stretch of time where I watched Saturday Night Live every Saturday night, you know? My friend Dave would come over. We'd watch it together. We both liked it a lot. Here we go. Back to cooking. All right. Instead of being Julia Child, fine. You're ready enough. Instead of being Julia Child, I think I'll just be, British cooking show. British, they have very slow cooking shows. Right. Here we've got our rice. I cooked it in the pot. And here we've got our sausages. Bangers. Let's see, what else do I need here? I'm gonna need this. I'm gonna need this. All right, let's take a look. What else do I need? That's right, I need this. Now see, it's like, okay, I did the same amount of time. I didn't let it rest really at all. So that's part of the issue here. But this is so much less well done than last time I did the exact same amount of time. Kind of crazy. I guess that's why you have to let it rest. Instead of doing what I just did. Alright, now let's put this in the sink. Right, bring virgin. Okay, now let's move this like this. Turn this on like meow. Then let's put some meows like meow. Ooh. This thing pours so fast. And then we use 2 meows like meow to meow.
William says yes, there's egg and fried rice. Did you put egg in?
Yeah, I got the eggs up.
I think you have to check.
Thanks, Darlene. I love you.
I love you.
I've actually been enjoying YouTube a lot lately. Yeah, I'm not historically a huge YouTube watcher, but I've kind of exhausted all non-YouTube stuff. I was really enjoying Sidetrack Adventures. Is that what it's called? There's a guy named Steve. He goes and like visits ghost towns and stuff. You know, California's most desolate highway. And he drives down it. So let's see if we can go find the ruins of this little town that used to be here before this highway moved, but then they moved the town and all that's left is yeah. It's a very, I guess you call it, it's like SI-NI thing or something, like it's a combination of seeing what it is now and then the pictures of what it used to be look like and the meaning implicit in the transience of human existence and so forth, the temporariness of all the efforts that people have made.
I like that. Charlo says, why did they throw the butter out the window? They wanted to see the butter fly. I like that.
It's a very silly
It
joke.
is. That's like a dad joke.
Yeah, very much a dad joke. All right, now we're gonna stir this up as per Mia. Now that we've got a nice thing cooked. All right. that? All right. There.
Thank you so much for making fried rice.
Sure, darling.
Scumdiddlyumptious.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. That's so good.
Don't say that, Penelope. What happened? Here's the soy sauce. I want some more of it.
You know I always do anyway.
I'm gonna do this, I think.
That's smart.
For a little bit here. I don't think it's especially heavily sauced, but here. You want to use more after that, go for it. You probably want to pour it into that first. Well, good for you, Maximus. Good for you. Natasha Godfrey Ashford, nice to see you. We've got an exciting adventure of fried rice eating coming up right now. And do you have the wow, listen to me meow? Don't know that song. I don't think that AI is going to be able to find Greater in Disguise probably because it's not a formally published song.
Yeah, and it doesn't sing yet, so.
Thanks, Lone the Wall. I think it's probably more or less groomed than ever, but thank you nevertheless. You want to know how to break dance? No. Some people have called me history's greatest breakdancer.
Yeah.
So it is tomorrow that's the open mic, right? Not today.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. That's good. Well, you may be in love with me, Ax, but I'm in love with her.
Hi. She's in love with who?
Ax says, I'm in love with you.
Oh. It's easy to fall in love with Eric.
Unfortunately, I'm a one-woman man.
Like I could do this salsa.
Come on, baby, do that salsa. Here, we can control yourself any
Hey,
longer. I wish instead of Jennifer Lopez getting big and famous, it had been Gloria Estefan. Yeah.
Well, she was pretty big in the 90s, but it didn't really.
You want another piece? Here you go, Mr. Kitty. There you go. I'm a zero man.
Thank you, Atomic Elf.
We're not in a polyamorous relationship.
No.
It's just me and Rachel, and that's it. There's nothing swingery about us at all.
No.
We're both anti-swingery.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the Miami Sound Machine should have gotten huge. I'm just saying Gloria Estefan would have been a better J-Lo than J-Lo. If we had to have one. This is so good.
It is.
This is better than the last few times I've made it when I over-seasoned it. Not this time.
This is perfect.
Well, we may look like that, but we have no interest in that. And I feel confident that I'm speaking for both of us in regards to that, you know. Neither Rachel nor I have any interest in that stuff.
Oh no. What, swinger, polyamorous? No,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, these style of shades are the best. I don't know whatever happened with our shade guy. He doesn't seem to want to make the deal very badly.
Oh yeah, because we never paid him, or did we?
No, I tried to pay him and his software didn't work or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I still wouldn't have been interested in that. It just never was me.
No, me neither.
Does Rachel have any healthy hair hacks?
Well, lately I've been recommended from YouTube to wash with shampoo twice and to use what's it called? Leave-in conditioner.
I would suggest, yeah, I do have some healthy hair hacks. What you want to do, you want to grind up some yams, but you got to squeeze all the juice out of the yam stuff, all right? Then you're going to grind up some quartz crystals, mix that in with the ground up yams. And then you're going to get a little bit of tallow, sometimes called lard, which you'll scoop around in there as well to make it thick and gooey. And then lastly, just a sprinkling of what they call it, mistletoe, like they use at Christmas. It's actually a wonderful hair treatment ingredient.
Mistletoe.
Remember when wind was all the rage? Then women started claiming their hair was falling out. What's wind?
It's a like kind of infomercial hair care stuff. My mom had it.
No Vaseline in my hair hat. I wonder if you could dye your hair with soy sauce.
Probably, right? People dye their hair with coffee, so
Do they?
yeah.
Jeff Artisan, you never answer any of my questions about what you say, so why should bother reading it out loud? Have you used a Flowbee? What is that? No, I don't think I've never heard of it before. I don't know what it is.
I thought like a Flowbee was one of those like made for TV like things, and like sucked. It would like be like a vacuum for your hair. It like sucked it.
That'd be good. I mean, how am I gaslighting you? I just said you never answer my questions about what you say. Like, how am I gaslighting you?
Yeah, that's not gas.
Are you going to answer the question or are you going to not answer it? Every once in a while. But I always feel like, well, that was a waste of a load. I ain't had a ruddy sound. Oh man, that food hit me right in the coma button. I think I'm gonna wrap up this stream for now. Yeah, just watch a little TV, chillax. So I may stream again later, or maybe not. You currently get to listen to your wife screaming in pain. Why is your wife screaming in pain? What's going on with her? I gotta find out what's going on with Atomic Elf's wife before we go. Why is your wife screaming in pain? Is she giving birth or something?
That's terrible.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, hopefully it passes the pain, I mean. Anyway, I will see you all later. I'm going to watch some television. Until later, goodbye.